One simple idea can just grow and grow. Tony Rutter, who lives in Northampton, originally just wanted to help one family in the Lamu district in Kenya. Since then, it's gone global, attracted interest from academics, professionals and organisations from around the world, and Tony is with me now. Now, just explain, Tony. Hello, by the way.
Hi there.
Just explain how this whole thing started. When did you come across this place, firstly, Lamu?
That was in 1992, I think it was. I was working for the British Council. I was an internal auditor reviewing its operations overseas. I was in Kenya, and I asked the local staff there if they knew somewhere interesting, somewhere small that I could visit for one of my weekends. Loved it. I loved the mix and culture there, and the people and the history, and I've been back 5 times in the last 20 years. The last time I felt I just wanted to make a difference in a small way.
And I suppose when you go to anywhere that's impoverished in any way, as a person from a fairly wealthy nation, you think, I want to help, and that's what you felt. But how did you transfer that into actually something meaningful, in something that can actually help?
Well, I went on a course, a personal development course, and one of the things that encouraged people to do that were attending is to take risks, sort of step outside their comfort zone. And I did that by practicing community engagement projects. And the project that I did was to work with Barnardos, because they helped me adopt a little boy 13 years ago. And because I'm an internal auditor, I noticed when I was working with Barnardos that they had some marketing flaws for attracting foster carers and adoptive parents, prospective adoptive parents. So I just went, as one of my community projects, I went back to them and said, I'd like to help voluntarily, and they said yes, and I went and did that, and that sort of was a success. It was great. And then I realised that everybody can actually do something. So when I went to Lamu, I thought, actually, I love this place, I want to keep coming back. I'd really like to do something, but I was thinking very, very small.
And it was just one family, that's right, you wanted to help to begin with?
That's right, yes, because I thought I really liked the idea of paying it forward.
Yes. Now this is, people might recognise the phrase if they don't necessarily know. This is a book which then got turned into a film, and the idea is you do one good deed for someone, and that person in turn does a good deed for someone else.
That's right.
And the idea is that eventually everyone will do one good deed and the world will be a better place. That's a very simple idea, like I was saying. It's a very simple idea that just grows and grows and grows.
Yes, it could be like you asking me, you're a bit down on your luck and asking me for £10, and I say, yeah, here's £10. 1 week later you come back and say, here's that £10 I owe you, and I say, actually, just pass it forward or pay it forward to someone else who needs it when it's convenient for you, and you'll never know the cumulative effect of that £10.
Yeah, of course.
For a number of different people. So yes, that's the idea.
And so one family was your idea, just to help one family. How were you going to help that one family?
Well, I'm a life and business coach. I started about 2 years ago. A lot of my work has been pro bono, so I don't charge, because I'm usually focused on helping underprivileged people and families. And some of my coaching peers said that if I actually, given the sort of work I want to do, if I actually started charging for that, then I could actually use the money to make a difference in projects like this.
And then, I'm right, you then put on Facebook that you were going to do this.
That's right.
And that's how it started growing. Is that right?
Absolutely, yes. I had a plan. I had some objectives, targets and goals, and a timeline, and I drew it up, and I thought, actually, before I sort of go with it, I'd like to make myself accountable to make sure I don't flake out or drop out of it when things get tough. So I thought I'd put it on Facebook as a note on my wall, and then I got lots of interest.
And from around the world, wasn't it? It wasn't just interest from people you know, it was people you didn't know.
That's right, yes. I'm involved in a number of discussion groups, as well as having chats, friendly chats on your wall. You can also join discussion and topical groups, and I'm a member of a number of those. Some of them related to the British Council and teachers, but I've then been invited into a number of other groups, and that attracted virtual friends who would sometimes look at my wall.
And am I right that one of them's actually gone out to Kenya with you? Is that right?
That's right, yes. She's actually still out there. That's Dr. Darlena McHenry. I came back 2 weeks ago, so this is her last week, I think. And she's made amazing changes in terms of education. She's an educationalist, and she's sort of taken that side of the project into a different sort of hemisphere. I mean, it's incredible what she's doing.
And so that's right, people have got in contact with you who have specialities in certain fields. Education, all right, doctors have got in contact, is that right?
Yeah, I mean, she is a doctor. She started off as a psychology professor. But the really exciting one is, well, there are two. One is an online teaching expert, and she is using Skype to teach up to 1,000 people at the same time.
Wow.
Just, if they've got access to Skype, she can teach one class, but 1,000 people or a number of people at a computer.
Yeah.
So we're optimising all of these different possibilities and facilities that are already available completely free of charge.
Now, I imagine the people of Lamu are very excited about this. How involved have they got? I mean, what's the response been like when you've come to them with all these amazing ideas?
It's been an absolute joy, and it's knocked me off my feet, and I'm sort of thinking, I need to give up my full-time job. I've not even needed to push at doors. Doors have just opened for me, and people have come to me. People have heard about it and they've come to me.
And am I right, Facebook are now following you because you've almost built this kind of group through Facebook?
That's right. They're not following me yet. I met somebody who is a product designer in Facebook, and he asked me to contact him because he said that Facebook would be interested in this story as a showcase. So that I've still got to follow up. I've been quite busy the last few weeks since I've been back from Kenya. But he said that this is the type of story they would love because it promotes what Facebook is all about, getting people together, connecting them, sharing ideas, learning from each other. And so yeah, that's something I've got to do.
And am I right that this idea of Pay It Forward, you've implemented this before with the free hugs? Is that right? Is that
the free hugs is separate. It's just me being wacky, but also on that idea of just making a little difference, helping someone smile. So I donned a wig one day, an orange afro wig, stood in the middle of Waterloo Station at peak time, 6 o'clock on a Friday night, totally terrified, but because I'd sort of said I would do it, I wanted to do it. And that was amazing. It was at the transition of being one moment nervous, seeing a sea of faces coming towards me, and then suddenly realising that actually they were the ones who were sort of anxious of me, and I could just smile and be natural, sort of act it out, and suddenly people would just want to come up to me and give me a hug.
Was it popular?
Absolutely, yeah. Yes, very popular.
And did you do it in Liverpool as well?
I did it in Liverpool.
Okay, so who is more willing to hug, the Scousers or Indians?
Both, actually. In London, I had some friends taking photographs, and they were actually counting numbers, and we said that we'd stop after half an hour, and they counted 50, and it was equally men and women, and I also hugged 2 policemen together, a group hug, and a couple of families. But no, I wouldn't see any difference between. I think I'm from Liverpool myself, and I think the Northerners can be a lot friendlier in terms of approaching strangers, but actually it was very interesting. I was really curious as to why people would come up and hug a stranger.
And did they whisper anything in your ear? Did they say why they were hugging you?
No, people would just say. A couple of people actually said, "Actually, do you know what? When they saw the sign, do you know what I could really do with a hug today?"
And what time did you do it? Did you do it kind of at rush hour after the day's work?
Yes, on a Friday night at Waterloo Station.
I can imagine after a week's work some people would need a hug.
Maybe, yes. And in Liverpool it was a weekend, it was a sunny afternoon, I think it was in June. And that was right in the middle of a sort of pedestrian, the centre of the city area. So I made sure that I had a chance of getting some hugs, or rather than getting hugs, because it's not that I need them, but I wanted to give hugs if people wanted them.
Well, it's something you reciprocate. You both give them, don't you?
So the linkage between them is, I haven't quite worked it out yet. I want to try and see if I can use the free hugs maybe as a way of attracting interest in me, maybe first of all, of what's this crazy person doing, but then actually transferring that interest to international support for another place.
But for this project, you're climbing Snowdon. Mount Snowdon, is that right?
That's right, yes. It's more trekking, really, because there are walking routes. And we're going with young families.
And when are you doing that?
That's, we're leaving, not this Friday next.
And how are you feeling about it?
Fine, I've done it before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So experienced.
Yes.
And the future for this project that you're doing, I know you want to build links with Northampton Borough Council and the kind of council out there, and bring them together. What is the future for it, or do you not know? Because I suppose when you were just
that's right. I really don't know. What I do realise is that there are lots of possibilities. I mean, it's both frightening and exciting. I suppose that's exhilarating. It's endless, the possibilities. The local mayor has contacted me and wants to support me. He's told me that he can get me an interview with the President and Prime Minister of Kenya, and that's like frightening. I'm not sure if that's real or not, but I'll follow it up. I'm going back out in February. I've got friends who are teachers in Northamptonshire, so there are possibilities of school links programme. I've visited about 7 schools in Lamu. They're very excited about the prospect of linking with other schools. So I really don't know where it's going to go.
And the basis of this project is you're trying to improve housing. We already talked about the education.
That's right.
And there is a lot of in the news about aid for Africa, about aid generally, and the cutbacks and those kind of things. What you're trying to do is to build sustainable futures for these people, so they then in the future don't need our help.
That's right. I know from I was working with the British Council, which promotes Britain abroad in the field of culture. It's like the cultural arm of the British Embassy. And they do a lot of sustainable work, and I picked up an awful lot from the different programmes they've got. So I know from my own experience and the experience of the British Council that it's not just about throwing money at an issue. You actually do need to actually do something and help them do something with the money that you give. And not just money, but actually support. I'm a life coach, so I want to support individuals by coaching them as well. Part of the project one of the things is to buy them a boat. In fact, from the last visit, which was a research visit just a couple of weeks ago, I've actually been donated a boat, and that's just how amazing the people out there are, that they're all seeing that I want to help and they want to help me to help them. The boat idea is to be run on a cooperative basis, so the 10 families will own the boat, use the boat for fishing, for tourism, to eat the fish, to sell the fish at the local market, and I also want to encourage them to save money that they get from the tourism, to actually help maintain the boat and also save for a second boat, no matter how small that amount is, to actually gradually get into the habit of saving for a second boat. And it might be a small boat. This boat's quite a big boat. Another idea is to the women, because the Muslim communities, the women actually stay at home. And I've explored with them donating to them sewing machines so that they can work from home, make clothes, sell them at the local market. Now, in this way, my thought is that after 1 or 2 years, I won't give up on the project, but I would like to step back and just see how they're doing and give them support. But it would be just fantastic for my goal if they could sustain it themselves. They're earning money, they get themselves a second boat, they introduce new families into the cooperative, so it's the pay it forward idea. Once you've got yourself sorted, start looking at who else out there you can actually help.
If people are interested in this, want more information, or they want to help, how can people get in contact with you?
Initially, I'm happy to give my contact details. I'm on Facebook, I've got a mobile phone, I've got an email address. I'm in the process of still designing and sorting out my website for my coaching practice, which is called You Can Thrive. I'm going to have one page on there related to the projects that I do, because I've already got plans to do a similar project in India next year from one of my Facebook contacts, and Bangladesh the year after. I've been to both of those countries. They are a different level of poverty, and in a sense I wanted to work and start off in Lamu because there's already the will there. There are already some things going on, and what I wanted to do is bolt onto those, harness them. I knew that I'd be sort of pushing open doors.
Well, we've got all of Tony's contact details if you want to help, and it's a fantastic project that you're doing. And will you keep us updated? Will you let us know how it goes?
I will, for sure, yes.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you very much.